Have you ever found yourself pouring all your time and energy into someone, texting first, making plans, or trying to keep the connection alive, only to feel like you're being taken for granted? Maybe you've asked yourself, why am I the only one putting in effort? Why does it feel like the harder I try, the less they care? If that sounds like your life right now, don't worry. You're not alone. This is a cycle many of us fall into, and it can leave you feeling frustrated, unappreciated, and even questioning your self-worth. But here's the truth. The problem isn't how much you're giving. It's that you're giving too much to someone who hasn't earned it. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "He who is not master of himself, though he may be ruler of all the world, is still a slave." What if the real key to feeling valued and respected isn't about doing more, but about doing less? In this video, I'll show you 6 powerful principles that can not only transform your relationships, but also help you rediscover your own worth. Let's dive in. Rules 1. Patience is key. Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to grab someone's attention, the more distant they seem? You send a quick text, plan the next meetup, or try to fix a problem immediately, but instead of bringing them closer, it feels like you're pushing them away. Impatience can create a cycle where your effort comes across as neediness, making people take you for granted. There is a simple truth in the words of Lao Tzu. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Just like the seasons change at their own pace, relationships and connections need time to grow and develop. When you rush, you miss the chance to let things naturally unfold. Patience allows others to recognize your value in their own time without pressure or expectation. To cultivate patience, start by pausing before you act. When you feel the urge to text or check in, take a moment to breathe and reflect. Instead of filling the silence, redirect your energy toward yourself. Dive into a hobby, spend time with friends, or focus on something that brings you joy. Giving space not only strengthens your self-control, but also allows the other person to step forward and meet you halfway. Patience isn't about waiting endlessly. It's about showing confidence in yourself and trust in the process. When you embrace it, you'll find that the right things come at the right time. Rules 2. Invest in yourself. Have you ever poured all your time and energy into someone, only to feel drained and unappreciated? It's exhausting to constantly give without getting anything in return. The more you focus on someone else, the less attention you have for your own growth. Over time, this imbalance can leave you feeling stuck, undervalued, and even lost. As the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. This means that before you can truly give to others, you need to take care of yourself first. When you invest in your own happiness, skills, and well-being, you build a foundation of confidence and strength. People are naturally drawn to those who prioritize their own growth. It shows self-respect and independence. Start by shifting the focus back to you. Take a step back from chasing someone else's approval and use that time to explore your own passions. Whether it's hitting the gym, starting a new hobby, or learning something you've always been curious about, every effort you make towards self-improvement adds to your value. It's not just about becoming more attractive to others. It's about feeling good in your own skin. When you invest in yourself, you're sending a powerful message. You know your worth. That kind of energy is magnetic. People will notice the change and the dynamic will shift in your favor. More importantly, you'll realize that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. It starts with you. Rules 3. Shift the power dynamic. Have you ever felt like you're the only one keeping a relationship or connection alive? You're always texting first, planning the hangouts, or trying to fix things when they go wrong. It's frustrating, isn't it? Being the one constantly chasing can leave you feeling powerless and undervalued, like your effort is never enough. This is where the wisdom of Epictetus comes in. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't force someone to care more or meet you halfway, but you can change how you respond. By stepping back and focusing on your own actions, you regain control and shift the balance of power. Here's how to do it. Stop overgiving. If you're always the first to reach out, pause. Let the other person take the lead for a change. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but this creates space for them to reflect and step up. Instead of bending over backward to fix things, calmly let situations unfold. If someone truly values you, they'll notice your absence and make the effort to keep you in their life. When you stop chasing, you stop giving away your power. This doesn't mean playing games or being cold. It's about respecting yourself enough to let others meet you on equal ground. By shifting the dynamic, you teach people how to value your time and energy, and you remind yourself that relationships should always be balanced. Roles for letting go is strength. Have you ever held on to something that wasn't serving you, whether it was a relationship, a friendship, or even a job, because you were afraid of what would happen if you let go? It can feel like you're giving up, like you're losing something important. But the truth is, holding on too tight can keep you stuck in a cycle of frustration and unhappiness. As Lao Tzu wisely said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." Letting go doesn't mean you've lost. It means you've freed yourself to grow, to focus on what truly matters. Letting go requires strength because it shows that you value yourself enough to walk away from things or people who no longer add value to your life. To practice this, start by recognizing when you're putting in more effort than the other person or situation. It's okay to step back, to stop chasing something that isn't coming back to you. Take time for yourself, prioritize your needs, and trust that the right people and opportunities will come into your life when you're open to them. Letting go allows you to reclaim your energy and time. It may seem difficult at first, but in the long run, it will make you stronger. By removing yourself from situations that drain you, you create space for better things to enter your life. Remember, walking away isn't weakness. It's a sign of self-respect and the ultimate form of personal strength. Rules 5. The power of silence. Have you ever felt like you're constantly talking, texting, or trying to explain yourself in a relationship or friendship, but it doesn't seem to make a difference? Sometimes, the more you try to communicate, the less it's appreciated. It can feel like your words are falling on deaf ears, and the harder you try, the more distant they become. There's a powerful lesson in the words of Carl Jung: what you resist persists. When you keep pushing and trying to fix things with words or actions, it can often push people further away. Sometimes the most effective thing you can do is simply stop. The silence you create gives others the chance to reflect on your value, and it lets them miss you. Here's what you can do. If you find yourself always the one texting first, always explaining or trying to keep things going, take a step back. Allow some space. Stop sending those daily texts. Stop being the first to reach out. Let the silence settle in. In that space, people will start to notice your absence and wonder what happened. Silence is not about being cold or playing games. It's about creating room for the other person to recognize what they had. It's in the quiet moments that people begin to appreciate the things you did, the attention you gave, and the effort you put in. By letting silence do the talking, you communicate that your time and energy are valuable, and when you do speak again, they'll listen. Role 6. Self-worth comes first. Have you ever found yourself constantly seeking approval from others, whether it's from a partner, a friend, or even a boss? You might bend over backward to make someone happy or keep them interested, but in the end, you start feeling drained and unappreciated. The truth is, when you rely too much on others to validate your worth, you lose sight of what makes you valuable. As RuPaul wisely says, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? If you don't value your own worth, it's impossible for others to recognize it. True self-worth comes from within. When you begin to appreciate yourself and what you bring to the table, others will start to see that value too. To practice this, start by setting boundaries. Recognize when you're giving more than you're getting, and stop tolerating behavior that doesn't align with your self-respect. Put yourself first, invest in your own growth, and focus on things that make you feel good about who you are. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, exercising, or taking time to relax, make sure that you're constantly reinforcing your value from the inside out. When you prioritize yourself, you'll find that others will start treating you with the respect and admiration you deserve. You won't need to chase after validation because you'll already know your worth, and that inner strength will make you more magnetic to the right people. Now we are about the video. Now it is time to change your life. Write down a comment and say that you want to change your life. No matter how difficult it is to change, I will read each of your comment features one of the best comments in our channel. If you want a daily dose of unfiltered motivation, subscribe to our channel.